What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. We'll be getting into the latest Arsenal news as we look at a potential injury crisis on the horizon for Arsenal. How are we going to deal with it? No transfer window to turn to. Are we still going to grab onto that top four place? We'll look at Darwin Nunez after he scored last night against Liverpool. Has the price gone up on him? And can we recall Ainsley Maitland-Niles? I'll let you know the details surrounding that one. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in today. Yeah, man's on time, you know what I mean? Let me know when I'm on time, because when I'm late, I see you people. But yeah, man's on time today. And it's live, Martin Tyler settings, people. Big up to each and every one of you. Big up Ammo said, my bro, you never stop working. Respect. Hey, big up everyone who tuned in earlier. If you haven't seen it already, I did Talk is Cheap live at 12 o'clock today on AFTV, so go and check that one out. Laurie, unfortunately, wasn't able to do the show. He's tested positive for COVID, so get well soon, Laurie. Turkish stepped in. Great show. Really enjoyed it. And me and Turkish looking to get a show set up soon. Maybe an every week show. We do 1 week on his channel, then 1 week on mine, and we kind of rotate it. So look out for that. Big up everyone who tuned in. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it after this, people. It is there. Hope you're all well. And don't forget, people, we'll be back tonight, 7:45, Chelsea against Real Madrid watch along. So make sure you're back later on as well. Hope you're all well today. Talk is Cheap with Turkish was fire. Big up, bro. Oz said, get well soon. Jacka's lawyer, Laurie. Rodney said, big up, Curtis and the see you net. Best wishes, Arsenal Rodders in Blackpool. Big up your damn self. Carrington said, big up Big C. You and Turkish, great combo. Yeah, man, big up Turkish. And yes, great duo. Big up PG. I see you in the comments as well over there. So El Neni mode. All right, let's go. Let's go into El Neni mode. Not even Xhaka mode today. Is El Neni going to be the midfielder that comes in for Thomas Partey, people? We'll discuss that later on as well. We're going to look at a potential starting lineup for the weekend and the injuries and so on and so forth. Matt says, a great show, Curtis. Big up the rise of Curtis Shaw TV. See you net. Big up your damn self, bro. Big up the community. We got a goated community here, man. That is for sure. Yasin said, big up, taking a break from the studies for the show. Smash the likes. Hope everything's going well. Glenn said, we need to spend at least 200 million this summer. Bro, I agree with you on that. We have to spend big this summer, no matter what competition we're in. Mohammed said, blessed to be a Liverpool fan. You're living life right now. I can't lie, Mohammed. As I said, I say it a number of times. My dad was a Liverpool fan. He tried to make me a Liverpool fan. I rejected. I followed my heart, which was Arsenal. I lived a beautiful life growing up as an Arsenal fan. You know, Ian Wright, Anelka, Henry, Invincibles. Life was beautiful. Then it suddenly hit a downward curve, you know. Nicholas Bentner, Marouane Chamakh, Yaya Sanogo, selling Van Persie to Man U. And we're slowly but surely trying to climb. But, you know, it certainly isn't what it used to be. That is for damn sure. But hopefully we get there eventually. But yeah, man, you're living the high life right now. And it really wouldn't surprise me if we get an all-English final in the Champions League, because I think Liverpool are... I would make them favourites for the Champions League right now, I've got to be honest. Anthony said, this is a C-section, Gabriel business people. Sean said, just updated my CV, sent it into Arsenal. Chance I'll be playing left-back against Brighton. Bro, if you're decent there, you'll probably get a chance right now. Adria said, big up Curtis Jamaican in Orlando. Big up your damn self. Real pain, you know, some real pain. Growing up, like I said, going in school and college days, there was only 2 shirts. Man United with the collar turned up, Cantona, or Arsenal JVC with Ian Wright on the back. They were the 2 elite shirts in school days, but, you know, I don't know if the kids are wearing Arsenal shirts in school now. Peter said, Big C, did you talk to Turkish about Simeone? He would love to have him as the manager of the carpet. No, we didn't really get to speak about the managerial situation that much. So, we'll have to see on that one. Member streams tomorrow, 4:30, Wasim. 4:30 tomorrow. So look out for that one. Anyone who wants to come on, I want to hear from some of you regarding your thoughts. So 4:30 tomorrow, but I will put it on the community page tomorrow. Right, people, right. Big up Buenos Aires Goon, who said Curtis putting in the work, YouTuber of the month. Hey, well, Arteta got manager of the month and then we lost 3-0. So, right, let's look ahead, move forward. Right, we did speak about this briefly yesterday. I just want to go over it in a little bit more detail. And I don't want to pull everyone's mood down. But of course, we found out yesterday Kieran Tierney is out for the season. He's got a knee injury. It's ligament damage. He's got to have an operation. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 months, apparently. So he's going to be out for 2 to 3 months at least. I was saying, for me, I think Arsenal were naive in this international break in the fact that if you've got a player that you know is injury prone and he's going on international duty to play 2 games, and both of those games are friendlies. For me, and I know it's easy to say this in hindsight, and people will say, well, you wouldn't have said this before. Arsenal should have told the Scottish FA that Kieran Tierney can't play both of these games. He's been injury prone. He's managed to keep himself fit. He does not need to play 2 friendlies for Scotland. He just doesn't. And he started both games. He gets himself injured. Totally unnecessary, in my opinion. And now we lose him for the season. And let's be honest, we don't have a good enough squad that we can afford for Kieran Tierney to be out for a long period of time. And this is where I'm so frustrated with Arsenal. They should have sorted this situation out. And like you said, PG, the management are responsible. You know, how many England players pulled out of the England squad and now they're playing for their club team? Why? Because they would have spoke to Southgate and said, bro, Trent can't play for England in this international break because Liverpool are trying to win 4 trophies. So he's going to pull out with an injury. Kyle Walker wasn't even selected. And apparently, even though he has got a little knock, but apparently Southgate was saying he spoke to Pep about some of his players. Pep's probably saying, well, you can take that one, but you're not taking that one. So I think this is something Arsenal need to learn from moving forward. International breaks, especially with players that have been regularly injured, you have to speak to that FA and say, listen, he can't play both games, you know. Shibe said that's why Celtic sold him. I mean, listen, before I come back to this, that interview from Arsenal regarding the injuries, I just want to quickly look at this from Kieran Tierney, people, right? This is Kieran Tierney's 3 seasons since he joined Arsenal. This is only the Premier League, by the way. This isn't all competitions. Now, bear in mind you play 38 games in a Premier League season. First season, Kieran Tierney, 15 games, 12 starts. That's Unai Emery's season, right? And half was Mikel Arteta, the FA Cup season. Last season, 27 games in the Premier League. So he missed 11 last season. He missed 23 in his first season. And this season, he's only going to play 22 because he's out for the rest of the season. So he's going to miss 16 Premier League games this season. Now, I'm a massive fan of Kieran Tierney. I think he's one of the best left-backs we've had in years. I think he's potentially an Arsenal captain. But let me tell you something. I say this all the time and I'll say it again. Availability is the best ability in anything. You can be the world's best footballer. If you're injury prone, you're only going to be so useful to your club. They need players that can play for 90% of the games. This guy is injury prone. He was injury prone before Celtic sold him. And he's still continued to be injury prone since he signed for Arsenal. I think we've got a problem. One season, okay, he's adjusting to the Premier League. Second season, he played more games. Maybe he was unlucky. Third season, this is a real problem. This is a real problem. Truth said 50 games missed over 3 seasons. How can you legislate for 50 games missed for a guy that we're on the verge of saying potentially should be Arsenal's captain and he misses 50 games in 3 seasons? You can't do that. You just can't do that. You can't be captain and you can't be relied upon. Now, what I would say, do Arsenal need to replace him? I think replace means getting rid of him and bringing someone in. So I wouldn't use the word replace, but I would say we need to sign a left back that is of equal talent or at least very close to him. Because the problem for me, the replacement Nuno Tavares, the drop is too far. That is the problem. Tierney's up here, Tavares down here. The gap is too big. So you have to question what they were thinking when they did this deal, and it hasn't worked. And we signed him injured. I don't know if you remember, when we signed him, he was out for 6 weeks. He'd had a hernia operation. So we signed him injured. Hendon Guna said Arsenal love to sign sick note players. The medical team must do the recruiting in order to hone their skills. I'm telling you. Zach said go for Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. Somebody just said Mitchell from Palace. I like him. Faye said captain from the stands. It's no good for us. It really isn't. Jashar said, big up Curtis. I like Kieran Tierney, but I don't rate his value to the Arsenal team because he is prone to injury. It's a shame. DWTT said, KT's captain evaluation is up for review. We need at least 30 game season captain. Not popular, but Ramsdale is my choice right now. He's a Tesco bag himself, soft. Oh, man, it's sad, but it's the reality. Latte said, Big C, I think we signed him injured the Arsenal way. We did. We signed him injured, people, and he's lived up to expectation. You signed a player that's injured, he's probably going to continue to be injured. So I think we got a problem there. I think we got a real problem, and it's a shame. And just looking at it as well, even in Scotland, it's a 38-game season. And look at him at Celtic. I mean, it was better. 2014-15 was his breakthrough. His first full season, he played 23. He missed 15. Second season, he played 24. He missed 14. In his third season, he played 32. That was his best season. He only missed 6. In the season before we signed him, he only played 21 games. He missed 17 games. This is an ongoing problem that he has in his game. And 50 million from Real Madrid don't look as bad, Now, listen, all jokes aside, I wouldn't sell Kieran Tierney, but I think we need to sell Nuno Tavares or loan out Nuno Tavares and get in another left-back this summer, which is a real shame because I would imagine Arsenal weren't planning to buy a left-back this summer, but I think they've definitely got to go into the market. Nuno Tavares is not the answer. And you have to wonder who did the scouting on him as well. Wasim said, goes back to your point, back in the transfer window, Curtis, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Nuno isn't good enough to step in and fill Kieran Tierney's boots. 100%, bro. SJ said, get Mitchell. I mean, he signed a new deal last summer. He would be expensive. I like him, though. At least he doesn't have a broken back. I mean, it's an improvement. Shame about Kieran Tierney. Gives me Wilshere vibes. Big up, John. It's true. It's nothing to do with his talent. He's a top quality player. If he was fit, we'd probably give him the armband. But it's not the one right now, people. It is not the one. Elliot said this is an ongoing problem that needs a leading left-back solution. I think we're going to have to buy a big left-back. I really do. An expensive one, which is unfortunate. But hey, we're going to talk about the other injuries just briefly before we look at potential solutions and what we could maybe do. Obviously, the news came out. Thomas Partey didn't pull his hamstring. It was his thigh, which is possibly even worse because this was the initial injury that he's done before. And apparently, it's even the same leg that he did before. It said Thomas Partey, right thigh. Thomas is currently being assessed ahead of the weekend after aggravating his thigh during Monday night's match at Crystal Palace. There's a report in The Athletic saying that he was tired from international duty. He played 2 tough games against Nigeria, a lot of travelling, comes back, apparently he was tired. If you rest him and you lose, the fans are going to say, if he's on the bench, you should have played him. So that's where that situation becomes difficult. We risk him because he's our best midfielder. He then gets injured, and then we're going to look at it and say he shouldn't have played. It's a difficult situation. That particular one is difficult. Kieran Tierney, they should have said he can't play both games. Thomas Partey one is difficult. Palace away, you need physical presence. If we'd arrested him, played El Neni and got battered, people would have said, how the hell did Arteta arrest him? But now what's happened, people are saying, if you knew he was tired, should we have benched him? How long is he going to be out for? I would say with a muscular injury, at least 2 weeks. But you never know. They're saying they're assessing him ahead of the weekend. Latte saying, no, Big C, we have to sell him and buy a new left back. Problem you got now, bro, how do you sell him? If he's injured for 2 or 3 months, that could lead into pre-season. How do you sell an injured Kieran Tierney for decent value? I don't think Real Madrid will want to buy him if he's injured. But we'll have to see. South London's finally said, but we have to play him because we don't have adequate cover. Goes back to January. And this is what I said. And a lot of people didn't like. So many people said to me with my reaction to losing to Palace, they said, you're being reactionary to one defeat. I said, I am not. I'm looking at the bigger picture. Why did we enter a January transfer window in a good position? Remember, we were still in the FA Cup. We were in the top 4 race. We only scored 1 goal in January, which was the 2-1 defeat to Man City. We didn't score against Burnley or Nottingham Forest. We knew Aubameyang was leaving since the end of November. We knew AFCON was happening from a year back, and we didn't address anything in the squad. And I think that is going to be, if we don't get top 4, that will be the point where you say that's where it went wrong. If we do get top 4, it's a miracle, especially with these injuries. So we're waiting on Partey. That could be announced today or maybe even tomorrow. Get a new left back and a backup right back, said Zach. Scheib said the solution is not the person to take this great club forward. I mean, I'm not going to try and get too caught up in that. I think I've said enough about him over the last few days. Odion said it's all good saving wages, but what's the point in if you finish 7th or 8th because of lack of depth? Exactly, it makes no sense. I'd rather have too many players where you have a few players that are unhappy and you finish 4th than cutting the squad right down and you finish 6th or whatever, you know? So we'll have to see. Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu is... The club have now said that Tomiyasu is out for another couple of weeks. It is hoped Takahiro will be back in training after the match at Southampton on Saturday, April the 16th. So that's 10 days away. And that's 10 days just before he enters full training. Now, I don't want to do the whole conspiracy theory thing because, you know, people say, oh, you know, it's not always a conspiracy. But Mikel Arteta's been telling us for weeks and weeks and weeks, yeah, he might be available for Monday. He might be back. He might be back. Now, all of a sudden, we're being told he's not going to play for another 10 days before he even starts training. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And now, I don't know if anybody's seen, but there's this whole thing going around at the moment about Tomiyasu. Now, if you revert back, January the 19th, it said the FA is investigating a yellow card received by an Arsenal player in a Premier League fixture amid concerns of suspicious betting patterns. And everybody said that that was Granit Xhaka. Everyone said that was Granit Xhaka. There's now, again, a conspiracy theory that it was Tomiyasu and that maybe he's been banned. Listen, this is what people are saying on social media. Is there any substance to it? Probably not. But this is the new theory that people are running with now. But we'll have to see. Hey, here's what it is. Franklin said, you are being reactionary. We was never going to sign a left back anyway. The loss of Kieran Tierney isn't because of the transfer window. Maybe not signing a striker. See, I don't want you to confuse the two things that I'm saying here. I'm not blaming January on the left back situation. In January, nobody thought we needed a left back. We were fine. In January, we didn't address the midfield, which is now going to be a problem with Thomas Partey. And we didn't address the striker, which is clearly a problem with Lacazette because he couldn't score, you know, if you left him in Amsterdam for the weekend. So, yeah, they're the problems. I'm not blaming January on the left-back situation. I'm blaming it on the striker and centre midfielder situation. So, there we go. How long's Thomas Partey going to be out for? Tomiyasu's out for at least 10 days. That's just before he even trains, never mind gets back to play. 1,000 of you in the chat already. Make sure you lick down that like video. Make sure you follow me on Twitch as well. Chelsea v Real Madrid watch along tonight, people. And make sure you go and check out the Turkish Cheap Show that I did with Turkish earlier on. Go check that out after. They're all conspiracy theories until they're true. Yeah, exactly. Oyson said, I don't get how people are throwing Tavares under the bus after 2 or 3 bad performances. Give the man a chance. He's 20. The worst decision would be putting Saka or Xhaka at left back. Yeah, listen, yesterday we were talking about could Saka go left back, but having thought about it, I think you have to keep him in your attack. So we will talk about how we move forward later on in the show. I want us to look at maybe a formation change or who we go with. All or Nothing just got more content, I'm telling you, man. Broad said, is the Chelsea watch-along on Twitch or YouTube? Yeah, I'm thinking about this. Do we do it on Twitch or YouTube, people? I'll let the people in the comments decide. Do we use the Chelsea game to kick off the Twitch channel and do the watch-along on Twitch? Or do I do it on YouTube? Or do I do it on both? But then I just think if I do it on both, no one will watch it on Twitch. So let me know. What do you think? Do we kick off Twitch tonight, people? Chelsea against Real Madrid on Twitch. Big Body Ben's debut. A few of you saying Twitch, some saying YouTube. YouTube, keep Twitch for gaming. Yeah, I'll let the people them decide, man. I'll let the people them decide. I'll go through the comments after and we'll decide. Anyway. Yeah, Rion, the channel doesn't show up on Twitch just because I haven't put a video on there yet, and apparently Twitch doesn't let you show up in search until you've put content out on there. So as soon as I do a video or two, it'll show. That's why the link is in the description. Let me put I'll put the poll out. I'll put a poll out. First poll of the day. More polls than a strip club. Chelsea v Real, watch along. Twitch or YouTube? Twitch or YouTube? There you go. The poll's there, people. Lick down that button, let me know. I'm a man of the people. I let the people them decide, you know. Right, there's the first poll of the day. Right, we move on. We move on, people. Let's talk about, did we see last night Arsenal's potential answer to our striker situation? Did we see the answer? Put your intro video on Twitch. That's a good idea. Just get a few videos up on there just to get it going. I got Twitch because of you. Yeah, I suppose I owe people a video on there. Man said Paul Pogba. Nah, this brother, you know, he loves his one-line jokes, you know. I'm telling you, broads, you know. Dangerous, this guy. Did we see our future striker last night, people? I did the watch-along last night. Man City against Atletico Madrid. I mean, I'm sorry. I just have to say, people, I'm not sure if I can do another Atletico Madrid watch-along ever. They are football terrorists. I'm telling you. Simeone, and listen, he has results. He's won titles over there. But I couldn't stand watching that game. I had to keep switching between the Benfica and Liverpool game. Darwin Nunez played up front yesterday, and he scored. Now, I watched back a lot of that game afterwards. And I got to be honest, for the majority of that game, I felt like he was being bullied by Konate, right? Konate, big, strong guy, very aggressive. Darwin Nunez, the one or two things I didn't like about him. Number one, he was diving a lot. And number two, his link-up play, first touch, was not perfect. That is for sure. What I did like about him was, for a 22-year-old, playing up front by himself against Konate, who's a big, strong beast, and Virgil van Dijk, who's probably the best centre-back in world football, he was willing to go for it. You know, he was willing to go for it, and the chance he got, he took it. Good finish. He's clearly rough around the edges, is what I will say. He's not the finished article, and I've said many times, whatever striker we sign this summer will not be the finished article, because the finished article is Lewandowski, who's 33, or the best young strikers are your Haalands and Mbappes. Now, he scored 5 goals in the Champions League this season, 2 against Barcelona, 1 against Bayern Munich, 1 against Ajax, and 1 against Liverpool. I liked a lot of the potential what I saw in him. I saw a player that's going to go to war if he has to. He needs to cut that diving out of his game. You won't get away with that in the Prem. You go to Burnley, mate, them Tarkovskis will just elbow you in the face. I don't think he's a finished article. But if you're looking for a big physical striker, which Arsenal tried to get Vlahovic, I think this guy, this kid, however you want to describe him, 22 years of age, I think he's got a lot of potential. I really do. He's got a lot of potential. He works, he grafts, he's got a goal in him. And, you know, his goal record this season, people, is impressive. 5 goals in 9 Champions League games. And as I said, you know, he scored against Barca, against Bayern, and against Liverpool and Ajax. And he's got 21 goals in 23 league games, albeit the Portuguese league. But I think he's a talent. I think he'll move this summer. Problem is, if we're not in the Champions League, I'm not sure we'll get him. Because I think other clubs, anyone who needs a striker this year is going to go, right, let me try and get Haaland. Real Madrid, if they want him, they might get Mbappe. Man City will go for him. Anybody that doesn't get Haaland, who needs a striker, he's going to go, right, who else can we get? Well, Vlahovic is already gone. What about this Darwin Nunez? So we'll have to see. I think without Champions League, it'll be difficult to get, if I'm being honest. Amo said he's even got the Emirates top. Yeah, exactly. Emirates sponsor, obviously, Benfica. But he definitely has to tidy up his game a little bit. That's the only thing I would say. Definitely has to tidy his game a little bit. Rodney said, Curtis, how much will Nunez cost? Well, they were saying the other week, 67 million. Then they said maybe around 50 million. Listen, I think somewhere between 50 and maybe 70 million is where you may get him. If a few clubs come in for him and it turns into an auction, that price could go up and up and up. And if he scores again in the second leg at Anfield, the hype around him could make him even more difficult. Faye said United are looking for a young striker. Interesting thing will be if Manchester United keep Ronaldo, is a young striker going to go to United? Is he going to get enough game time if he goes to United? Unless they change system and play 2 up front. Patrick Schick scored 20 and 21 and Nunez suits us. No, listen, I like Patrick Schick. The reason I don't talk about him that often, Neil, is because Arsenal are not really being linked with him. There's no point me really banging on about a player if we're not seemingly interested in the player. Darwin Nunez is constantly being linked to us, so we'll have to see. But I get you. And Schick's doing it in a better league as well, but we're just not seemingly interested. There was a brief story about it the other week, but it seemed to be paper talk. Yeah, sir said Lacazette's work rate, it doesn't mean anything, mate. You need a scorer. And that's it. A lot of people were messaging me last night going, well, Nunez doesn't look that great. But I was like, what would you rather have? Lacazette working his socks off and can't hit a barn door, or Nunez, who doesn't look great, but has still scored a goal up front by himself against Liverpool? We haven't scored against Liverpool, I think, in our last 3 or 4 games. And he scored against them in 1 game. So I think I have to big him up. I think he's a good young player. Not the finished article, but lots of potential. And I like him. I would definitely go for him. Chanel said, always love to hear you, Curtis, when I'm driving to work. Been watching you since you had started, but never commented. Just got promoted at work as an accountant. And for your information, Curtis better than Lacazette. Totally agree with that. Come on. Big up your damn self, Chanel. Congrats on your promotion at work. I'm glad to see you comment, man. I appreciate a lot of people watch the show in the background and don't comment, man. Big up to everyone who supports the channel. Lace Can said, see you, Nick. Just finished watching your show with Turkish on AFTV. Awesome combo. Arsenal broke our hearts on Monday, but I think we'll win this Saturday to keep the momentum going. And that's it. I've got to admit, I've calmed down a little bit. The last 2 days, a lot of what I've been saying has been off emotion of that game because it hurt, man. I can't even lie. I did not see that performance coming, and it kind of caught me on the back foot. So, you know, I'm trying to forget about the Palace game now, the best that I can. And we look ahead to Brighton, which should be light work, I hope, anyway. Let me end that poll. Oh, man, YouTube has won by a clear distance. I was actually hoping you went for Twitch, just so we could kick it off. Maybe I just stream it on both of them. Because I think you have to do 8 hours worth of content before Twitch considers you like an affiliate channel. So I might just bang it out on there anyway. It's just the views will be low. But I'll definitely do the watch along on one of them anyway. That's for damn sure. Yeah, big up Chanel. Make sure you go and smash it. Right, let's move on. Another striker that we're being linked with. You'll probably be a little bit surprised by this one. It's come a little bit out of nowhere, but this one is actually all over the place today. If you've been on social media, and you might have seen this one, Arsenal are being linked today with, wait for it, people, Memphis Depay, people. Memphis Depay, and this is on Sky Sports News. Arsenal are among the teams keen on bringing former Manchester United forward Memphis Depay back to the Premier League this summer, according to reports. What's your feelings on this one? Now, Memphis Depay was classed as a future star when he was at PSV, went to Manchester United. Them times there, he was a winger. Yeah, so I think it's difficult to judge his stats at them times. He was a winger. He went to Lyon, rebirthed his career, played up front, had some good seasons, 19 goals in 36, 10 in 36 wasn't as good. In his final season, he scored 20 goals and got 12 assists. So clearly a prolific striker at that time. He's gone to Barcelona this season. He's got 10 goals in 21 games this season with 2 assists. He's been told, apparently, by his agent that he needs to move. He needs to be a first-team regular. It's the World Cup year. And interestingly enough, the guy that we sold or gave away to Barcelona, Aubameyang, has kind of pushed Memphis Depay out of the team. So, you know, what do you think? He kind of fits into that Lacazette role, but would be more mobile and a better player for me if they were looking for that kind of false nine role. Would you take him? Now, according to reports, interesting thing about Memphis Depay, he only signed a 2-year contract at Barcelona. They got him on a free from Lyon. Apparently, it was only a 2-year deal as they weren't totally convinced by him. Now, Memphis Depay has just turned 28. So he's at a decent age. But he is something of a false nine, you know. In a similar role to kind of Lacazette. He's not necessarily a gunman goal scorer. So, yeah, second poll of the day, people. According to the reports, Barcelona would be looking for around £40 million for Memphis Depay this summer, with a year left on his deal as they look to recruit cash for summer investments. Would you sign Memphis Depay for £40 million this summer? And as I said, people, he's just turned 28. So there's his age. 40 million. Would you sign Memphis Depay for 40 million? There you go. Second poll of the day, people. Let me know. Personally, for me, I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's what we need right now. He's been a little bit injury prone at Barcelona as well. And I just can't see how he could combine with Mikel Arteta the way he is. I mean, the guy's putting out rap tunes, mate. He's got music videos out on YouTube wearing, you know, gold chains with sunglasses on, man. I just don't see... I don't see how Mikel Arteta could work with him. I actually think he's a good player. I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's improved a lot since he went to Lyon and played central. I just don't think he's the kind of striker that we need right now. Doesn't hit the back of the net enough. Drops in a lot. A little bit inconsistent. But he is a talent. He is a talent. I'm sure if he was available, he would get a good move. But I don't think he's the answer for Arsenal. Zach said he's a great rapper, to be fair. He's got bars. Maybe he should come to London for his music career, you know, but... Listen, he's good. If we signed him, I wouldn't be like devastated. Let me put it out there. He's not a bad footballer. He's a good player. I just don't think he's the right kind of player that we need at Arsenal, if I'm being totally honest. So I don't want anybody to think I'm writing him off as a player. I just don't know if he's what we need. Jake said, doesn't fit Project U for whatever they're selling. Arteta will flag his YouTube videos. Oh, my days. He won't like his rap tunes, man. Misunderstood said sign Griezmann. I think, has he not got already a clause in there to sign on a permanent for Atletico at the end of the season? So, I think Griezmann would be out of the question. Jay said, rather pay 40 million for Ivan Toney than him. Yes, sir, said, Depay featuring Pepe. I'm locked up on the bench. New music coming out of Arsenal, eh? Rudy said, yet another example of B-grade players being looked at. Why aren't we buying from top-grade players? How is it ticket prices are the most expensive in the world, but the players signed are B or even C? I tell you why, Rudy, mate, because Champions League. Champions League enables you to go and get them A-grade players. Now, people say sometimes, yeah, but you signed Thomas Partey, you signed Aubameyang when you was in the Europa League. I think the difference was, when we signed Aubameyang, we'd only been out of the Champions League for 6 months. So you could say, don't worry, it was a one-off. We'll be back next season. With Thomas Partey, we quadrupled the wage, you know, so the money was talking to him. And he said that he loved the Premier League. You can't get a lot of these A-grade players when you're in... we haven't even been in the Europa League this season, so... Scarrett, he said, told you see Jovic would be a better fit as well as Nunez. Well, Jovic is another one that will be available this summer, that's for sure. Jess said, Jesse said, please, Big C, please give me hope and say we'll still get top 4. We can get top 4. We can. I'm not going to say we will. I'm going to say we can. We'll hang on to the hope. Let's rebuild this weekend. Listen, our next 2 games are Brighton and Southampton. Southampton away is a tricky one. We don't have an amazing record there, but they're not looking great. They're kind of mid-table, and you often find a lot of mid-table teams start to switch off. They can't get Europa League, but they can't get relegated, although we didn't see that with Crystal Palace, that is for sure. But I think that's because Vieira, Zaha, them players aren't going to allow that to happen, and the manager. So all I'll say is we can get top 4, but I wouldn't put your house on it, you know. Elliot said, would rather sign my Canadian Jonathan David over Depay. Yeah, listen, he's more in form, innit, and not as injury prone from what we're seeing. 1.2 in the chat. Make sure you smash the likes. Can we hit 1,000 likes? Subscribe to the channel. Daily uploads, watch-alongs. We're busy at the moment. We're really going for it. And follow Twitch. We will put something out on Twitch today. Maybe we'll do the watch-along on both channels, but we'll do it anyway. Osimhen and Origi as the backup dancer. Listen, I would take that all day long. I would take that all day long. I said that earlier on Talk is Cheap. You know, for me, Nunez or Osimhen as number 1 and Origi as the backup dancer, because I don't see Arsenal buying a £50 million front man and then buying like a £40 million one as second choice. So Origi would be a free agent, and then you go and spend 60, 70 on somebody who would be your first choice. David is a far better player. Gakpo loves Arsenal. Yeah, again, he's come out and said that he's an Arsenal fan and things like that. You know, as they all are. They all love Thierry Henry and Arsenal. You know. Ian said, for anyone that hasn't commented and are worried, etc., to do so, this community is honestly one of the best. You don't need to worry about asking stupid questions. No, listen, anybody that watches the channel that doesn't comment, that thinks, oh, maybe I'd like to comment, but I don't know what to put or anything like that. Listen, we're an easygoing community. You know, I get hammered sometimes by the community when I start saying I'd take Rashford at Arsenal. They hammer me. You know, we give it and take it. It's all good, people. So, yeah, get your comments in. Don't worry about it. It's good to see people throwing comments in. Pepe from Memphis Depay, straight swap. I just don't think Barca would take Pepe, man. They've got Ferran Torres. They're signing Adama Traore. They're trying to give Dembele a new contract. They got a lot of players that can play wide. Even Aubameyang can play on the left, so I don't think so. Cello said, Origi is so underrated, super clutch player. I'm telling you now, as a sub, as a second-choice striker, he is very good to bring off the bench. I think he's underrated as well. I wouldn't be looking at him like, yo, let's get Origi as first choice, but we're bringing Eddie Nketiah off the bench now. I would say Origi is better than Lacazette, and Lacazette's starting for Arsenal. And I'm talking about having him off the bench. That would definitely be an upgrade on what we've got. As long as you've got your number 1 target, your Nunez or your Osimhen or somebody of that level as your first choice, you know? Sharif said, hey, Big C, quality show as always. Personally, I would buy Nunez and Tammy Abraham. I just think that would cost too much money. And we've got maybe one of them. I don't think 2 of them. You know my opinion of Tammy Abraham. I mean, you've called him Tabby Abraham there. That's probably about sums up what I would think of here. But yeah, I hear you. But I think 2 strikers of that quality would cost well over 100 million. And I think we got other things. We need 2 centre mids. We might need a left back. We might need a right back, you know. Stuart said, hey, big up Curtis. Remember, we never get anything good from United, so no to Rashford. It's got to change eventually. It has to change eventually. I know Welbeck and Mikel Silvestre definitely didn't work well. Sean said, Origi is so far down the pecking order. He's chilling, isn't he? He's waiting for his move in the summer. Hammer the like button. Dylan said, for sure, the nicest chat in football YouTube. No toxicity here. Big up yourself, bro. Lee Wilkinson, thank you for the super chat. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. Right, no Memphis Depay. Let me end that poll. 69% of you have said you do not want Memphis Depay at Arsenal for 40 million. You're not having him. People saying he's only slightly better than Lacazette and so on and so forth. So people not happy with Memphis Depay shouts to Arsenal for £40 million. As I said, I think he's a good player. I'm just not sure he's what we need right now, if I'm being totally honest. E. Ross said, family here. That's what we want to create, man. Strong, tight-knitted community, good debate, good chat, and a bit of a laugh at times, you know. So let's move on. Just briefly, and I'm not even going to talk about this for too long. A lot of people yesterday, with the thoughts of Kieran Tierney being out, were saying, should we recall Ainsley Maitland-Niles from Roma, somebody that can play at fullback? I've looked into it. He can't be recalled. He can be recalled, actually, but he can't play. There is a deadline at the end of March that you cannot register any more players until the end of that season. Obviously, that deadline has already gone. You cannot recall anyone and play them at this point in the season. So Ainsley, Saliba, anybody that we've got currently out on loan, we cannot recall them and play them. So, yeah, no Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I know a lot of people saying Ainsley's not getting that much game time at Roma. Let's bring him back, play him at fullback. He can't be recalled and played. So, yeah, that one is not going to happen. Andrew said, as much as it hurts me to say, I think the collapse has begun. The squad's too thin, a great show. Listen, I'm going to be totally honest, Andrew. Every Arsenal fan, I believe, right now, has got that same thought somewhere in their mind right now. Is this the collapse? We're just trying to cling to that hope and that positivity that they'll be able to shrug it off. Let's hope Partey's not out for long. We can beat Brighton. We get Partey back in the next week or so. We can go to Southampton and beat them. And then that really crazy run starts. We play Chelsea away, West Ham away, and Manchester United 3 games in a row. If we haven't got Partey for those games, obviously no Kieran Tierney, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So, what I want to do is try and offer a solution. There's no point me coming on here every day and saying, you know, oh, this, that. I have to try and move forward and offer a solution, you know. We're not saying how to get rid of Mikel. Let's look at what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks. Now, I'm assuming Thomas Partey is going to be out for a couple of weeks, or certainly probably not going to play against Brighton this weekend. What do we do? I want people to interact in the community with this. We were speaking yesterday about the left-back situation. Do we play Xhaka at left-back? Do we play Saka at left-back? Do we play Nuno Tavares at left-back? If everybody was fit, I would play Cedric at left-back and Tomiyasu at right-back. But let's be honest, Tomiyasu's going to be out for at least another couple of weeks. I'm going to say something that you might not all agree with here. This Saturday, I would start Nuno Tavares at left-back. I would start him. He's had a couple of stinkers. They bought him in the summer. He wasn't bad earlier in the season. He's not the answer. He's definitely not the answer. But we're in a situation where he might have to just get us through a couple of weeks. I think to give him that confidence boost, I would start him this Saturday because it's Brighton. I don't want to jinx it if they come back and beat us, but they're in terrible form. They don't have great wingers. They're not amazing going forward. We're at the Emirates where we're a better team. I think we could get away with Tavares at left back against Brighton. You hope he has a good performance and then his confidence has been boosted. Maybe by time we play Chelsea, Tomiyasu's back, and then maybe I'll put Cedric back at left back. So for me, I mean, Ramsdale's going to be in goal. I mean, as long as he's fit, he's going to play. I would play Nuno Tavares at left back this Saturday. This is his chance for redemption for me. If he has a stinker in this game, then his Arsenal career is over, in my opinion. Because you aren't going to get much of an easier game than this. So I would put Nuno Tavares at left back. Now, moving forward, if we're in a situation where he has to play, if we was playing Chelsea or we was playing Manchester United or we were playing West Ham, I would consider going to 3 at the back. Because I think Tavares could look half decent if you played him left wing back, allowed him to go forward with very little defensive responsibility. If we're playing against Man United or Chelsea and you're playing him left back, I'm going to worry. I think you could get away with him in a back 5 or a back 3, however you want to describe it, against the better teams. And if we're being honest, Mikel Arteta's most successful period was playing 3 at the back when we won the FA Cup. So that's what I would do with him this weekend, if I'm being honest. TR said the same. Red Luddite said, sorry, Big C, he was okay going forward, but defensively he is pants. But that's all we've got. That's all we've got right now, I'm afraid. Lee Wilkinson said he's a Spurs fan, but your content is the best. All sorts in the chat, welcome. Keep up the good content. See, I appreciate your comments, bro. I appreciate your super chat as well. Captain Sal said, if he starts, I'll be ready for therapy the next day. I'm just looking at it that I think Saka is too instrumental to our attack to play him at left back at the moment, if I'm being totally honest. Bob said play Saka left back, Martinelli left wing, ESR right wing. I mean, we could do that. Back 3 definitely against the better teams, in my opinion, because like I said, when Cedric and Tomiyasu are available, I would play Cedric at left back and Tomiyasu at right back. But at the moment, I think this is what we got to go with. So Ben White, this is for Saturday we're talking about, really. So Ben White and Gabriel, who both had stinkers on Monday. You know, they're lucky that Nuno Tavares played that bad that those two weren't being spoken about that much for how bad they were. Now, our next problem, people. Our next problem. Centre midfield. Centre midfield. No Thomas Partey. Who do you play next to Granit Xhaka, people? Mohamed El-Neni is leaving in the summer. Apparently, not going to be offered a contract. What do you do? Against Crystal Palace, we ended up with Xhaka, centre mid, with 2 number 8s in front of him. Smith Rowe and Martin Odegaard. But I just think you can't do that long term. Would you go for El-Neni? Would you go for Lokonga? Or would you consider maybe dropping Odegaard into the middle of midfield? And then you could maybe play Smith Rowe in the 10. Me personally, it's sink or swim for Sambi. You're a Belgian international. You cost, what, £17 million? You're not a baby. He's 21, 22. Come on. Partey might be out for 2 or 3 weeks. You got to step in. Let's see how good you are now. You've had your settling in period. You've had it. We saw you. You was okay. Now you know what the Premier League's about. We play Brighton and Southampton the next 2 games. I think you've got to play him. El-Neni, for me, is finished at Arsenal. He's leaving in the summer. Sambi's got to step up, I'm afraid. This is where you find out sometimes what some of these players are made of. You know, you can't wrap him up in cotton wool. He's a Belgian international. So Sambi, for me, I would play. Some of you saying he's not very good. Dog doo-doo, said JS Slime. Dunkirk said Sambi 100, if not Partey. Ming Ming said facts. Sambi looked decent against Palace. You know what? My head was gone so much against Palace. I didn't even see what Sambi did, if I'm being honest. Kamavinga is 19, so Sambi is no kid. Mighty Man said Sambi's hardly played. What do you mean step up? Listen, has Sambi not played much football this season? Let me have a look. He's played enough, though, for us to see what he's about. You know, he must have played 15 games at least. Sambi Lokonga stats. Man saying he's hardly played. Let's have a look. I mean, listen, he's not a first-team regular, but 15 appearances in the league and 4 in the EFL Cup. 1 in the FA. He's got 20 games for Arsenal this season. 12 starts. He's played enough for us to see what he's about. You know, he's played enough for us to see what he's about. It's been good, but he looked a little bit out of sorts the last time he was playing. So, this is what I would go with against Brighton. Odegaard had a stinker in the cam, but, you know, he's played well. I'm not going to totally write him off. Brighton at home, it's a kind of game he'll probably bop him. Although, to be fair, Basuma might hunt him down and stop him. So I go with him. At the moment, I'm not going to say Pepe simply for the fact that he missed the game on Monday and there's been no mention of whether he's going to be fit for the weekend or not. If it's a cold or whatever, I would hope that he'll be available. But I'm not going to pick him in the team because I don't know if he's fit. Left wing, I'm going to go with Smith Rowe. I thought Smith Rowe was poor against Crystal Palace. He didn't look fit. He missed 2 very good chances. And he wasn't at it. But the 2 positives I'll give him. Number 1, he hasn't played for a while. So maybe now he would feel sharper having not played for a while from the start. And he is also our top goal scorer. So I would start him. I would start him definitely. Saka starts on the right. Again, wasn't great the other day. I thought he got dealt with by Mitchell. But Saka's been one of our best players. You know, you're going to get this with young players. They'll have games where they're not quite at it. They're inexperienced. And for me, this is what I changed this Saturday. Gabriel Martinelli, striker. Lacazette has to sit down this weekend. I don't care how hard he works. I don't care how much of a good influence he is in the dressing room. I don't care if he's best friends with Mikel Arteta. I don't care if he christened Mikel Arteta's child and he's the godfather. Alexander Lacazette has to sit down on Saturday. Bring your pillow, bring your cushion, bring your quilt. Sit him down on the bench. He's knackered. He's absolutely knackered. I'm calling him Knackered from now on, people. Project Martinelli up front starts on Saturday for me. Will it happen? Of course it won't happen. He won't do it. If anything, he'll play Eddie Nketiah up front if it's not Lacazette. But for me, Project Martinelli would start this Saturday. We've never really seen him through the middle. Their centre-backs are not the quickest. Webster and Lewis Dunk, they're big, strong, but they're not the quickest. Play a different way at the Emirates. Keep him on the last defender. Give him something to worry about with runners in behind. Lacazette has to sit down, man. That man is absolutely exhausted. You know, we've turned a striker into a defensive striker. You know, I've never seen it. He's moving like Dirk Kuyt. Even Dirk Kuyt used to chip in with goals. This man has not scored since December in the Premier League from open play. I mean, come on, man. You can't let him get away with that. Oh, that's a good point. Who would be the captain? It ain't going to be Granit. That is for damn sure. I mean, there's such a lack of leadership here. I don't even know who the captain would be. I suppose... That's mad, isn't it? Do you go Ramsdale? Do you go Odegaard? Do you go Gabriel? I'm not giving it to Granit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not giving it. And a few of you have said Granit. They would give it to Granit. I'll go Odegaard or Gabriel, probably. Odegaard, Gabriel or Ramsdale. None of them strike me as great captains, I can't lie. But I would go with one of them. Couple man saying Cedric. I wouldn't make Cedric. But yeah, it just shows how much of a lack of captains we've got in this team. Because I wouldn't even know to pick. You could literally pick that out of a hat. Egg Fried Roy said, blame Arteta for having this light, inexperienced squad overall. He chose it, so it is what it is. Sean says Veneers as captain. But yeah, that's the team I would go with. That would leave, hopefully, Pepe on the bench if he's available. Terminator said on the Arsenal website, it says Pepe is fit. Okay, so I leave Pepe as an option. And Lacazette off the bench. And obviously, you've got Eddie and Nketiah. Bruv, I'm telling you, football's gone mad. Now we're signing ball-playing goalkeepers like Ederson, and we've got Lacazette as a defensive striker. Like, it's unbelievable. One thing I will say about Lacazette, in his slight defence, as much as I've been slandering him for a while, Arteta, for me, especially in games like this, if he starts Lacazette on Saturday, don't make him do the amount of work that he's having to do at the moment. Why not tell Lacazette, if he does play up front, go up against Lewis Dunk and them lot, play the whip for the 18-yard box and try and score a goal. You know, stop dropping so deep. We don't need to overcompensate that much. We've got 3 players in midfield. You know, if you include Odegaard as the 10, he drops in and becomes a midfielder. Let the man play higher up the pitch. We might see a better Lacazette. He might shoot more, but we got him playing in midfield. It's ridiculous. He doesn't have the energy to do it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going off with Lacazette. Do I think Lacazette will get dropped on Saturday? Probably not. Probably not. He's captain. He'll be available. He'll probably look at it and think, Brighton at home, that might be how we can get a goal. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say with Lacazette anymore. There's not a lot I can say regarding Alexander Lacazette. He just doesn't score. Doesn't score goals. And the way we're using him is not working. Is absolutely not working. So, I think Hugh Wizzy was saying he'd play Nketiah up front. I mean, not for me. Not for me. He's not the answer, Eddie. Eddie came on and looked decent against Palace, but let's be honest, the standard was set so low by Lacazette's performance. Anybody could have come on. As long as you ran around with enthusiasm, you were going to look more lively than Lacazette in that performance. So, for me, not Eddie through the middle. Not Hercules settings, man. Hercules! GB91 said ESR false 9 Villarreal settings. Oh, man, don't remind me. Do not remind me. They were dark days as well, man. And if this doesn't confirm that Lacazette shouldn't be kicking a ball this weekend, I mean, Alexander Lacazette hasn't scored from open play in any of his last 16 appearances. 16, bro. Like, do you remember Giroud? 15 appearances. He's broke the record. 16. But don't worry, he scores hat-tricks against Brentford B, though, people. When there's no cameras there, he's lethal. He's like R9 with no cameras. All right, Fitz, final poll. There you go, final poll. Would you drop... Who would you... All right, we'll do it like this. Not would you drop. Who would you play up front against Brighton? Who would you play up front against Brighton? So we'll do Nketiah, Lacazette, Martinelli. Final poll of the day, people. Nketiah, Lacazette, Martinelli. You might as well play Lacazette in midfield and just be done with it. You might as well put him in. You might as well play Lacazette next to Xhaka. Xhaka and Lacazette centre mid. 16 goals. Honestly, I'm not joking, right? I mean, if I played 16 games for Arsenal, I'd think that I could score a tap-in. Like, just a lucky break. I'm telling you, most people in the chat, you play 16 games for Arsenal, you'd hope that one would just fall to you at the back post. If you're in the mix and the keeper spills it and you tap one in. 16 games, no goal. I'm done, man. I'm done. Yo, come on. Come on, man. I'm sorry. That is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. 16 games, no goal. Oh, I could have put Pepe in that vote as well. In reality, there's no way on earth he'll play Pepe up front. He don't even play Pepe anyway. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Have you seen what Joe Linton's doing in centre mid for Newcastle? He realised I'm big, I'm strong, I'm fast, but I can't score. So now I'll go centre mid and I'll just hunt down everyone. He's bullying people. He's winning headers because he's got a bit of pace because he was a striker. He's rapid for a centre mid. And then he don't have to score. So all of a sudden, Joe Linton's a beast. Play Lacazette in midfield. Why not? He's a workhorse anyway. But hey, it is what it is. Box clip meme said, Curtis, I would score wearing Timberland boots. King said, transform Lacazette like Joe Linton, play him as a defensive midfielder. I'm telling you. Lamar is now a centre mid. The famous 90 million bid for Thomas Lamar, people. Let's get a few of your comments in before we round up. We've been on for an hour. We'll finish off with that final poll. Reedy said, Martinelli all day long. Elliot said, if we offer Lacazette a new contract, we are begging for trouble. Listen, the red flags are all over Lacazette. You do not offer this guy a new contract. I don't care if it's a year. I don't care if he reduces the wage. That chapter is well and truly finished this summer with Lacazette. If he somehow gets us in the top 4, congratulate him, give him his flowers, wish him on his merry way, people. Simple as that. Give us 2 new strikers. I would choose Pepe without thinking, said Lone Wolf. Why aren't we utilising Pepe anymore? He'll never get consistency. I think he's gone in the summer, personally. And I think this manager wants to play players that he thinks he will have here next season. And I just don't think he's going to be here. Lacazette is no better than Giroud if we're real. I'd say he's worse. I'm going to be totally honest. And I didn't have this YouTube channel when Giroud was at Arsenal. And I wanted Giroud replaced for a while. Not because I thought Giroud was a terrible player, because we didn't play the way that Giroud was going to thrive. Giroud needs wingers that put crosses in. We had Sanchez trying to score. We had Theo Walcott running the ball out for a goal kick. Giroud is a quality player when you provide service. He just doesn't move very well. But Giroud could score, apart from that 15-goal crazy run. I always felt like Giroud had a goal in him if you put service in. Lacazette's worse than Giroud. And let's be real, we bought Lacazette to upgrade on Giroud, and he scores less goals than him. So, yeah, if we're being 100% real, I think Giroud was better than Lacazette. I really do. Otto said, play me up front. I'm telling you. Halby said, Giroud balls out for France. He does. He's about 4 goals off Thierry Henry's record. I hope he doesn't break that record, though. I got to be honest. Edu said, imagine Giroud in this team. Imagine his link-up play with these wingers. He would probably suit this team better than the one that he played in, because this team actually does cross the ball with Tierney and well, obviously not Tierney now. Hey, Oz, I'm not a Cubs fan, you know. I just went for the C unit business, people. You know, I got caught up in the shop, but yeah, I'm not a Cubs fan. Ming Ming said, facts, I think Laka and Aubameyang both need service. I mean, we looked at it as well yesterday. We're 5th from bottom in big chances created this season. And I don't think we get the best out of Odegaard, because when Odegaard gets the ball, you look at the way he plays, he controls it, he looks up, and often there's no one ahead of him centrally. Lacazette at times is at the side of him and behind him. You know, he might see Martinelli over there and he might see Saka, but he hasn't got that striker in front of him. So you're not going to get the best out of him. So I just think, yeah, end of the season, 2 new strikers. Honestly speaking, Gabby needs to play up front. Tayoub said, do you really think Martinelli is ready to play up front on his own? I think it might be a bit early, but he's more threatening coming from the left. I would rather he played on the left than through the middle, but needs must. At the moment, we've got no goal threat from Laka. Yeah, he does a lot of hard work and link up, but even against Palace, his link up was not effective. So then you've got nothing. At least with Martinelli, you're going to scare them with the pace. If he gets a chance, he's going to shoot. I believe he's got more energy. I would rather he played on the left for his development, but I think with no striker options, Gabby and Ketia and Lacazette, I would try Martinelli, especially at home against a team like Brighton. You could have a real good look, and if he does well, then you might think, right, what you would have to do with him is get Saka and Smith Rowe close to him. Get Odegaard close to him. So we become a unit of a front 3. You can't just leave him by himself up against 2 centre-backs. You've got to get close to him. So we'd have to play slightly different. South London's finally said, Curtis, how many French caps has Lacazette got? Do you know what's funny? I believe Lacazette has only been called up to the French squad once since Arsenal signed him. And that was when Martial got injured. He's had How many caps has he got? This is not telling me. It's saying he's got 3 caps, but I'm sure he's got more than that. Yeah, this website's doing me dirty. It's saying he's only played 3 times. I'm sure he's played more than that. It does say he's only played 3 times. That could be wrong. I thought he'd played more than that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 16 caps, 3 goals. 16 caps, 3 goals he's got. And he's only been in the squad once since he played for Arsenal. And he didn't even come on in that time he was called up. He was brought into the squad when Martial got injured. Sean said, would you take Martial? Not really for me. Not a big fan of him, really. I don't know if Martial's doing anything at Seville. I saw him against West Ham. Didn't look great. I wouldn't take Martial. I mean, he is better than Lacazette probably, but he's just moody as well. So, no, not ideal. 6 games, 9 games, 1 goal he's got at Seville. Like the Wilshere goal v Norwich, that goal was special, man. Lacazette thinks he's better than he actually is. I mean, listen, I don't want to totally slander him, but he's just not good enough, man. Sean said, I just think your fan base would be excited to see Martinelli up front next game. If Lacazette starts, I can imagine yeah, and we need a goal. We're going to be nervous against Brighton because everybody expects us to win that game and we are under pressure. I think just seeing Martinelli up front and seeing that energy would reinvigorate the crowd and give us something to get behind. If you're seeing Lacazette in midfield against Brighton, you're going to be like, come on. And if it's 0-0 at half-time, we're all going to be panicking. So just go for something different. Even if he just tires out the defenders with his running and has a few shots, give him a chance. Biswa Deep said, Obama who? Don't even start that one. D. Wade said, Curtis, let them know we didn't play Giroud's strengths and he consistently gave us 10+. I mean, I used to clown him for getting 13, 14 goals a season, Giroud. I don't think Lacazette will get double figures this year, to be honest. Lacazette has never had 15 goals in a league season in the Prem. You're going to go to the game? I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know because obviously Brighton is a 3 o'clock kickoff on the weekend. I don't love streaming them games. Sometimes I'm delayed and people in the chat are seeing the goals before me. I have got a ticket, of course, but I'll let you know. At the moment, I'm not going to go to the game, but I'll let you know. Right, people, I'm out of here. I've been on for an hour and 6 minutes. I will be doing the Chelsea v Real Madrid watch-along tonight. Look out for that. Will I do it on YouTube or Twitch, or do we just do it on both? But we will be doing that later on. Look out for the community page. And make sure you go and check out Talk is Cheap. We did that live today at 12 o'clock. Turkish stepped in for Laurie, who is unwell at the moment. So go and check that one out. I'll be back for the watch-along tonight. Tomorrow we'll be on at 2 p.m. as normal. I don't think there'll be a Europa League watch-along tomorrow night unless people want to see West Ham against Lyon. We could do that. But anyway, I'll be back tonight, 7:45, Chelsea against Madrid, and tomorrow, 2 p.m. for Arsenal. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bless.